meaning they can jump ship on the second ballot. Joining me now, a guy who doesn't want that to happen, Jeff DeWitt, State Treasurer of Arizona. He's also the Arizona chair for the Trump campaign. Okay, so 58 bound delegates. I mean, Trump won Arizona very easily.
Yeah, very handy margin, 2-1 basically over Cruz.
But that can change now on the second ballot as we look like we're going closer to the contested convention.
Yeah, it would be a shame if it does, and it kind of subverts the will of the voters of Arizona if those were to change. But that is the active strategy of the Cruz campaign, is to try to make that happen.
All right, let's talk about that, because the guy who's running Arizona, the director there, your counterpart for Cruz, Constantine, he says this. They say they're trying to steal delegates. No, follow the rules. And the rules say it's a two-step process. And then we have this quote. They go on to say, Constantine, this is from Chad Haywood. He was the former executive director of Arizona Republican Party. Constantine runs 20 to 30 legislative races a year for conservative candidates in conservative-heavy districts. Trump has some enthusiastic leaders, but they're not organized in those legislative districts, etc. Do you dispute that?
Yeah, I do very much. And I like Constantine, just so you know. He is, I know him very well, and we're both well known in the state. But he wins in certain areas, and we win in other areas. So the meeting that I ran last week, there were 63 state delegates selected, and I got 58 Trump in. So we're doing very well. And that's actually the most conservative part of the state, which is what we call LD22. LD23, the other one, we did very well there, too. So the most conservative areas are going towards Mr. Trump.
So what you're saying is you've been able to woo people on the ground there. Those delegates who are going to go, did they say to you even on a second ballot they would vote for Trump?
Yeah, well, it's not so much wooing. What it is you know who your delegates are and they know who theirs are, and it's trying to get yours versus theirs selected. And so the parts where we've complained has been in some areas of the state when they don't have all their people show up and they haven't filled out nomination papers, which you have to do, they're still putting them in and electing them in a subversive way. So that's where we've complained to the state party and saying, hey, that's a pure theft of a delegate spot.
Okay, so I was just saying that, you know, in the year of the political outsider, it turns out you actually have to be a politician. I mean, it's so confusing to figure out how to win this delegate game. Yeah. And now it looks like Mr. Trump is changing his campaign strategy. He's hiring all these seasoned operatives. He canceled his trip to California. What do you think about that?
Well, it's funny because we are countering that Cruz, it's almost that he knows he cannot win. And after April 26th, he will be mathematically ineligible to get the 1,237 delegates. And so Cruz's whole strategy and only strategy is to steal through a contested convention. So we've had to devote more resources to that now just to try to blunt those attacks. But at the same time, we still mathematically could get to over 1,500 delegates, Mr. Trump can. So it's still easily doable to get to 1,237.
But you say steal. I mean, I just got done saying in the segment before, it's legal what he's doing. What Cruz is doing and what Trump's now going to do to try and get these delegates, it's legal.
Well, it's subverting the will of the voters, and especially states like Colorado, where the voters never have a chance to even talk. So they go to these states, and these states where polling-wise shows that Mr. Trump would do very well, and they're trying to create it where 100% of the delegates go to Mr. Cruz. So it's just subverting the will.
Well, that's true about Colorado. So there's 37 delegates. They're going to have their convention this weekend, and they're all unbound. I mean, it is amazing. But doesn't it come down to the people crafting the state rules? Isn't that who your camp should be blaming if you don't like the rules?
Well, and that shows that, you know, we keep saying that Ted Cruz is just a Trojan horse for the establishment, and right there.